look around and tell me I'm wrong. Look around and tell me I'm wrong. Get gone.
Look at you laid out on our sofa.
I spent bloody hours making this sofa. I couldn't lay out. This is the first time I've laid out on it. You've laid on it quite a few
I have
times.
laid out on it, it's true.
The first time I've laid out on it.
Come on, let's show what our table can do. Pull it in front of you. There you go.
Go that way.
Look at that, you see? This is a table of many uses.
It can double as a percussion instrument.
Small things please you when you live in a bus. They become larger than would be seen by other people. They'll go, yeah, whatever.
It's a bloody table. What are you talking about?
Makes a big difference to our lives, guys. It's amazing. We have a sofa and a table that moves around. So Geoff has decided to stay in Gus the Bus, and I have decided to come out and hunt down more museums. Why is it always uphill? It's absolutely gorgeous around here. Really, really stunning. So characterful. Loving it. I think I might have arrived. So I'm sitting here in the museum, and I'm just reading about how in 1587 the approach to Coalbrookdale was like a veritable descent into the infernal regions. A dense column of smoke rose from the earth, volumes of steam were ejected from engines, a blacker cloud issued from a tower in which was a forge, and smoke rose from the mountain of burning coals which burst out into turbid flames. People could hardly breathe in this area because of the amount of production. This was basically the home of the Industrial Revolution, but my goodness, yeah, the people who lived here, oof, they really suffered. It's here that the first castings for the bridge were made on the 12th of September 1778, and they were cast in the Bedlam furnace, and the erection of 378.5 tons of ironwork began on the 1st of July 1779 and was completed in 3 months without mishap or injury. This is good. This is the other side of the story. So the iron workers were Quaker. They built houses for the workers, and schools for girls and boys, shops and alehouses, and religious institutions. In 1780, they encouraged workers to join in on a Sabbath walk so that workers could spend time with their families walking in nature rather than going to alehouses. Now, that's pretty cool, I think. This is the old furnace. This is the upper works where they began the smelting for the bridge. It's incredible, very atmospheric. So this is the Iron Bridge, and apparently it's the world's first bridge that was made entirely of cast iron. It was opened in 1781 and built by Abraham Darby III, that's a great name, who was a local ironmaster. It was a spectacular, it says, demonstration of cast iron's potential as a building material. It has stood through floods and even an earthquake, and it is standing as a monument to the Industrial Revolution and the town that grew up around it. It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, I got my cream tea, though only one between us. But we did get a strawberry, so I got half a strawberry as well. And here comes the milkman. Little milk bottle.
The little milk bottle, that's very nice.
I can never remember, is it jam first or cream first?
Are you putting butter on as well?
Jam first or cream first?
Cream first. No, jam first. You can advise in the comments if you think we've got this wrong, but Jam first, then cream. No butter. There we go. Yum yum. Good morning. We are out on our morning walk and we're coming to you from Glen Capel, which is this lovely loch just outside Dumfries. And what's been gorgeous about this is we have curlews here. It's one of those things here where you can just, well, I don't know if you ever hear a bird song and think, oh, what's that? That's weird and different. And I thought, you know what, I think that's a curlew. And it was, and I felt inordinately proud of myself for recognising it. It's really quite a distinctive noise and it's very evocative. We're not here long, we're just on an overnight stop. We're going to head down to kind of near Haltwhistle way, which is near Hadrian's Wall, because we fancy having a little walk along Hadrian's Wall. So we're going to the Pennines next on our little adventure in the north. So we look forward to seeing you then. So this is Caulfields. This is the Caulfield Fort, and these were incorporated every Roman mile along Hadrian's Wall, enabling soldiers to control the movement of people to and from the Roman province of Britannia and to allow patrols along the border. This is the artist's impression of what it would have looked like in its day. We had to come up to the top, didn't we, of that ridge. We really had to. Geoff's just there. He's a bit funny with heights. Gosh, it's windy. Amazing though. Come on, nearly at the top. Come on, old chap. He's doing better than I am. Shameful from my position. Right, well, we made it. We made it to a sort of peak. I mean, to be fair, there is another peak there. That was fantastic. What a fantastic walk. Geoff has just said, have you got any fruitcake? Which is a callback to the route marches and country walks I used to do as a kid with my parents on holiday, because every walk, every holiday was a long route march, and my mum would make fruitcake and bring flasks of tea, and we had butterfly books and wildflower books, which is why I'm so keen these days on trying to figure out the names of every wildflower I see. It was really great fruitcake, I have to say, and it would be nice if we had fruitcake now. There we go. But that's not bad, is it? That's pretty spectacular. It is very magisterial, isn't it? Isn't it gorgeous? Lindley! Sorry, darling. Oh, God. Okay, so Flynn's telling us we have to go back because his dinner time's in half an hour. But I guess that's what we have to do. Oh well, onward ho. It's a dog's life. Oh, bless him. So the weather's turned a little bit today. We certainly had the best of it yesterday for our walk up along Hadrian's Wall. It's just gorgeous here, and this is Caulfield Quarry. Now, we were allowed to stay overnight. There was some weird system where you could pay till midnight and then you had to pay from 6 in the morning. But then there was also an overnight parking charge, which was all very confusing. But everybody else is here. We asked around and apparently the warden's fine with it as long as you don't leave any rubbish. So this is Caulfield's Quarry. It was a quarry up to 1944 and they quarried whinstone, and apparently there's still an enormous sheet of it under the earth. It's not a particularly glamorous stone, but it's known for its solidity. One of the comments that was made when I was reading about it was amazing how close they were to Hadrian's Wall and how sort of disrespectful they were to the site. They just didn't see it as being really of any importance at all. All the industrial side of it has gone now and actually left us with this really beautiful pond. Really, really pretty, and it's just been such a lovely place to come. Geoff is just over there at the moment putting water in Gus the Bus, ready for our journey ahead. So this has been a treat, and even though it's a little bit drizzly today and a bit grey, it's still beautiful and the air is just amazing. I seem to have lost my dog. There he is. Oh, look at you, you're all wet. He's been down by the water's edge. He loves ponds, he loves wading, and he loves being near water. It's a complete magnet. He doesn't swim at all, but he really loves a paddle. So this is the ever-changing washing up view. Let me show you where we are. So we're in Largs in Scotland. It's a really buzzy little seaside town, and apparently, so the app said that we can stay the night, so we have found the perfect space because the parking ferry never lets us down. So we're parked in a fairground. So that's a whole new experience. Isn't that cool? I like it. So I know supposed to be all positive about everything in YouTube videos, but I got to tell you, this beach at Largs is not, should we say, the cleanest we've ever seen. It's a real shame. This is just loads and loads of plastic, most of it brought in by the tide probably and just blown in from the town. Geoff thinks I overreact to the plastic, I think. But nevertheless, it has to be said, we need to make sure the plastic doesn't go in the ocean. It's a big problem, and anyway, we need to take care of it. So I am going to talk about it because I think we all need to be aware of it. So that's, I'll say no more. When I was growing up, I spent some time in Scotland from the ages of 6 to 9. Our house backed on to a glen. We were in East Kilbride at the time. And this is kind of how I remember it. And it was just magical. It was at its core completely wild, absolutely lovely. And I remember the burn at the bottom with the sort of flat stones and the river running down in the ravine. And now it's all been built over. There's a tiny little bit left. It's not like it was. It really reminds me of where I spent hours and hours in the woods as a kid. It was a huge waterfall. It looked enormous to me, and I went back and saw it a few years ago. It really wasn't that enormous. I was just very tiny. But this is just lovely. It just takes me back to when I was a kid and I used to just spend so much time in the woods. Probably not entirely safely, but well, I suppose nothing bad happened. Loving this. So could this be a tarot in the wild, I wonder? A 4 of Cups. Looking down. Not really particularly impressed with what's going on around, not interested, not looking, not interested in what's on offer, really just absorbed in their own sense of isolation, really. So I think that could be a 4 of Cups, tarot in the wild. I think I've come to the conclusion that there are few things in life quite as beautiful as a Scottish glen with the sound of running water and ferns. Flynn likes it too. It's just gorgeous. I don't know whether it's because I spent those 3 years roaming the glen as a kid, or whether it is something a bit deeper, but the woods, for me, this kind of woodland, always just feels like home on a kind of primeval level. And I think of myself as an urban girl. You know, I love London. When I'm up in London, you know what, I've gone to the ball. It's just fabulous. But this and places like this just sort of feel primevally home, I guess, on a kind of soul level. It's just so gorgeous. Isn't this just fabulous? Seriously, it's like fairyland down here. This is just the most gorgeous, idyllic place ever. Bit of a treat today. I've decided to take the boat trip over to Castle Leven. It's a beautiful day. And this is where we're going to go, out on the loch. Geoff's staying back in the bus with Flynn, as it's maybe a bit too warm to leave him unattended. So it's going to be exciting. Let's see.
No one excellent. Fancy. Probably take it out. A little bit of a safety first now.
Glass-in tower built by Sir Robert Douglas between 1545 and 1560. When Mary Queen of Scots was here, it was literally the castle with a little bit of ground around the outside, and that was it. And some of the loch has drained over the years, making it about 4 times as big as it is now. So the castle would have literally been standing on a mound in the middle of the loch, very, very small. And Mary Queen of Scots would have been housed in the upper part of the tower. That was where the accommodation was. So let's have a little look round. This is where the floor to the next room would have been mounted on. And when Mary Queen of Scots was kept prisoner here, she was kept prisoner on the top floor. This would have been the bedroom, as we just looked at from below. And apparently this is where Mary was imprisoned for most of her time here. Willie Douglas was a bit of a hero. He was a young chap, but became very attached to Mary. While she was in captivity, she rewarded him with gold coins for smuggling her letters, and he was vital to the escape. He created a smokescreen in the form of a May Day pageant, and he nailed the boats to the shore so Mary's captors couldn't give chase. She did manage to escape, and she made it back to shore, and she rode off with the laird's horses. Love it. So Loch Leven is the largest loch in lowland Scotland, and the entire loch and all of the little islands and this island as well is a nature reserve. The guy on the boat coming over told us that humans come second here, and so we're not allowed to go into the woods or any area that isn't mown. So humans are very restricted in their use of the loch, which I think is jolly right. Isn't that great? It is really beautiful here. Awesome. Just been for a very nice cafe break in the Harbour Masters Cafe here in Dysart,
Where they do a lovely beans on toast.
we got told off. We didn't see the sign that says wait to be seated, and so we sat, and the guy came and really told us off. It's quite sharp.
Yeah.
But this is gorgeous. We're down on the harbour in Dysart. It's kind of chocolate box. It's so pretty.
Show them these cliffs, Janis. These are weird because they're cliff, but they've got bricks in them.
Yeah,
So what is that?
yeah. I think they're supporting. There must be
Maybe they just patched up the cliff.
patching up the cliff.
I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like that before.
It's a big job. Obviously they've been shoring it up for many years, so we're going to hope that it isn't going to suddenly come tumbling down on our heads. Anyway, let's take you around the harbour and show you a bit more of what Dysart has to offer.
and welcome to the Orchard Pub in Edinburgh. One that we really like. We've been here before in the past, and now we're being joined by Lisa.
Hello, I edit these videos.
Well, we've had a lovely time. We've come in out of the Edinburgh rain,
We have.
which was substantial.
It's August. Of course it's raining in Edinburgh.
So we've been enjoying. We went to some shows.
We did.
We saw musical comedy. We saw Down Under, which Geoff nearly got the job place there for, but then didn't. So we got free tickets instead. But we enjoyed it. And we also went to see my friend Trish has a friend who has written a play who's doing its first outing in Edinburgh. So Lisa and I went and saw that.
That was very good. Yeah, it was called Addict. It was very good.
It was Addict, and we really enjoyed that. So we are going to have a small drink now.
I think we've been having a small drink.
Anyway, so we're going to love you and leave you, and we'll see you back on the road.
We are family. I've got all my sisters with me.
I'm not joining in.
Bye.
Bye.
A frisbee rocket scalded drugs in a of 45. But we'll call him
So we are in the most romantic of locations. We're in
We dreamed that this would happen one day.
We're in Morrison's car park. Now I have to tell you that we are very impressed with Morrison's.
This is Morrison's in Carlisle.
It's true. And we have been in Morrison's in Edinburgh. We are becoming Morrison's.
We're Morrisoned.
We have become Morrisoned. In the UK, travelling around in a camper van is difficult.
Challenging subjects.
It's challenging. We are not welcome everywhere. It just so happens that Morrison's apparently are very welcoming to camper vans. So we are able to fill up our water, and also it's a supermarket with a cafe and loos and everything.
We found a place to stay tonight on the Park 4 Night website. We're on the way to there, and as we drove off the motorway towards Carlisle, I said to Janis, of course, we should have looked to see if there was a Morrison's around here. We could have stayed there. And then we drove around the bend, and there it was.
So we're staying here again. This is the this super uber glamorous side of motorhoming. So we just want to make a shout out to Morrison's to say thank you.
Thank you, Morrison's.
Yeah, and there were other people at the waterhole who also said they should say thank you to Morrison. So we thought we'd do a little video to express our gratitude.
Well, the waterhole that Janis mentions is at Morrison's garages, the petrol stations. They have a tap, and this seems to be certainly all the ones we've been in so far have had this, which is brilliant. And they've been happy to let us do it. We don't have to sneak around.
I can't tell you what a difference it makes. Thank you, Morrison's.
Morrison's.
Cheers. Cheers to Morrison's. Jolly good job.
Out there chasing rainbows, jumping over hedges, flying like a sparrow through the rain. I've been taking chances, losing my umbrella. I could grant your wishes 1 to 10. Just say when. Just say when. Just say